Mustangs are coming out of the Cache Classic where they played back to back to back. 3 teams, 3 games, 3 nights in a row, and they got their first win against Westside by 17 points in that Cache Classic. Tough assignment tonight against a team that's been a doormat. The 4A Ogden Tigers are in Region 5. They are 5-1 coming into this game tonight. Their lone loss against a Weber team at Weber by only 3 points. Hunter and Jackson Clark averaging 36 points per game between them. Will probably be pretty hard to stop for the Ogden Tigers. It's Cordell Welch for the Mustangs, almost 14 points per game. He's putting the ball in the basket with regularity. He's just a sophomore as this young Mountain Crest team tries to find its way tonight against the Ogden Tigers on the Game of the Week.
I am a cyclist. Soy un ciclista.
I am a cyclist.
Victoria. I train for it. I sacrifice for it. While they play, I train.
I conquer roads others can't.
You're driven to be the best, so you should train on the best. The 2014 Proform TDF, the official training bike of the Tour de France. It's the ultimate cyclist's training experience. With iFit and Google Maps, you'll ride the Tour. Choose any stage of the Tour or nearly every road on Earth and dig in. You'll see, feel, and ride the Tour. Climb like never before. Courchevel, Galibier, even Alpe d'Huez. Only the TDF gives you a 20% incline and decline. See it all right in front of you on our 7-inch color touchscreen. And train with power with our advanced power meter. With a TDF, you can ride almost every road on the planet. You can get the TDF with 0 down. Get yours today. Train better tomorrow.
I am a cyclist, and this is where I train.
The Game of the Week on the Valley Channel is brought to you by Icon Health and Fitness, changing lives with fitness innovation. Wendy's of Cache Valley. It's way better than fast food. It's Wendy's. Mountain Star Cache Valley Hospital. Together, we're greater. Lewiston State Bank. Strong and vibrant for over a century. Cache Valley Electric. A tradition of excellence since 1915. New Smile Dental. Experience dental care. Camp Chef. The way to cook outdoors. Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology. Bring back what you've been missing. LSS Insurance, Bob Larson. Personalized insurance coverage for your family and business. The Book Table, your family store for books, music, toys, art, and much more. Planet Fitness of Logan. No gym intimidation and only $10 a month. Aspen Dental. Get that gorgeous smile you've always wanted. The Logo Shop. We logo stuff. All kinds of stuff. And the Valley Channel, Cache Valley's television station for over 25 years. Hello everyone and welcome to Hyrum, Utah. The site is Mountain Crest High School and you're watching the Game of the Week. Mountain Crest hosting Ogden tonight. I'm Eric Olson. I'll be along with the call for you here all night long. Well, Ogden comes into this game 5-1, 8-14 last year, 6th in Region 5, and what a turnaround so far this year with that 5-1 record under 5th-year head coach Sean McQueen. They boast a pair of brothers, Jackson and Hunter Clark, 6'2" and 6'4" respectively, 36 points between the two of them. For the Mountain Crest Mustangs, it's Cordell Welch that leads the way. 13.5 points per game, only 1-5 on the season. They beat Westside in the Cache Classic 57-40 in that last game of the Cache Classic. They're getting ready for the national anthem here at Mountain Crest, so we're going to take a timeout and be back with the starting lineups and the tip-off. You're watching Ogden at Mountain Crest on the Game of the Week.
People used to ask,
"Where's the beef?"
And Wendy's always had the answer. But now,
where's the beef?
Means something different because some use beef frozen from as far away as Australia.
What's wrong with Australia?
But if you ask Wendy's, the juiciest hamburgers are made with beef raised
right here
to get here so fast it never needs to be frozen, unlike some other guys. Funny that beef from close by makes Dave's single and double so deliciously different. Score one for the guys without cool accents.
All right. national anthem here at Mountain Crest High School as we get ready to start this ball game between Ogden and Mountain Crest. Mountain Crest 5A, but with 3A numbers. Of course, everybody knows about the splits and the realignments. First for the Mountain Crest Mustangs as we check starting lineups. David Faith at number 30, a junior at 6'1". 33, Creedon Folger is going to get the start again tonight. Folger is 6'3" and a junior. Brady Hall, number 5, just the sophomore, will run the point at 5'11". Nick Nethercott at 6'4" and 8 points a game, a junior. And Cordell Welch, the 6-foot sophomore, as the Mustangs only have 2 seniors on this entire squad. For the Ogden Tigers, junior Carson White at 6'1", averages 8 points per ball game. Jackson Clark is number 10 for Ogden at 6'2", 17.67 points per game. Hunter Clark, another senior, number 15 at 6'4", 18 points per game. Keon Bergout, the junior, at 6'5", and Jalen Pace at 6'1", a junior, to round out the starting 5 for the Ogden Tigers. Jalen Pace, number 32, had 34 on the early roster. He's 32 tonight as the Tigers get it rocking and get themselves ready to take on the Mustangs. Ogden with wins over Morgan, North Summit, Ben Lomond, St. Joseph's, and Bear River, and a loss against 5A Weber. That was at Weber, 56-53, only 3-point loss there. Mountain Crest has lost to Box Elder in a game you saw right here. That was an entertaining ball game, a 7-point loss. The Mustangs were competitive. Springville blew them out of the building, 64-32. Bonneville beat them by 13. Logan beat them by 5, and then Preston beat them by 27 points. So the Mustangs still trying to find their identity. They were hot against Westside in their win. Welch with 12 points, Hall with 15. Tolman came off the bench, 7 boards and 4 points, 8 3-pointers versus Westside for the Mustangs. As Nethercott and Clark set to tip. Faitha will shoot this. They start every game from there. Seems like Faitha always gets the first shot of the game, and he's got a green light to shoot. He and Welch both they'll throw it up from anywhere. Clark waits for the screen, backs it out, now goes down low, and it's taken away by Welch. Welch trying to dribble out of trouble. Clark wanted it back. He took umbrage to creating the first turnover of the game, or to giving away the first turnover of the game. Here's Welch, 3-ball, 0 for 2 from beyond the arc for the Mustangs in the early going. Berghout with the board, and now he comes back and gives it to Hunter. Jackson Hunter fires for 3, won't go. Rebound knocked out of bounds off of who? Off of Ogden. Jackson Clark is 10, Hunter Clark 15, both seniors. And Faitha hands back to Hall, and Hall lobs low to Welch. Welch has it taken away. So each team with a turnover. Welch stayed back and knocked that one away. Each team with a turnover and no points. All the shootings come from outside of the arc so far as Jackson Clark brings it across the timeline. Hunter Clark hands it off to Jackson Clark. And another turnover as Nethercott steps into the passing lane. Clark takes it away from him. They're going to say he didn't establish himself back in bounds before he grabbed the ball. So it stays at this end. Welch will try another 3-pointer from the corner. Got it. Cordell Welch puts the Mustangs on the board, and it's 3-0 early. Mountain Crest over Ogden. We've played just over a minute and a half here in Hyrum. Bergout hands it off to White. White back to Bergout. He puts it on the floor and then finds his teammate Pace, and Pace is stuffed. Faitha with the bounce pass ahead to Cordell Welch. Too hard on the layup attempt. And Ogden bringing it back the other way. Clark across the timeline. Bergout runs over Hall, and they're going to call offensive foul. Third turnover for the Tigers. Bergout with the foul. Faitha brings it across the timeline. And Hall lobs underneath to Nethercott. He leans in from the left side and scores. Nick Nethercott makes it 5-0 Mountain Crest. The Tigers have yet to find the net. Clark hands to Clark. And now he throws it away. Jackson Clark, fourth turnover for Ogden. Hall, 3-ball. Boom! Timeout Tigers. 8-0 Mountain Crest in the early run here in the third period. And Coach Sean McQueen wants to talk about it a little bit as the Mustangs hit 2 early three-pointers and get a layup from Nick Nethercott to jump out to an 8-0 lead.
Tire and Automotive, Guyman Orthodontics, Park Floor Company, Logan Eye Institute, Playground Fitness and Performance.
It's a 30-second timeout. The Mustangs still talking about it. Coach McQueen didn't talk long to his team. Just telling them it's time to wake up. Clark gives it off to White. And Clark baseline left. His defender fell down. He decided not to take the shot. And White ends up with it. The Mustangs keeping the Tigers out of the paint. When they try to get into the paint, there's a bunch of white shirts there. Clark for 3. Too hard. Nethercott with the board. Nethercott across the timeline. Hall faked the 3, kicks it back out to Faitha. He'll fire it up. Too hard off the back of the iron. Nethercott fights for the board. But it's Jackson Clark who comes up with it. White in traffic, fouled. It'll either be on Faitha or Hall. Both of them got a piece of him. They're going to call it on Faitha. First turnover. Or first foul, excuse me, on the Mustangs. Here's Tolman and Tupuola into the ball game as Folger and Welch sit. Hunter Clark in the paint. Jump stop, won't go. Rebound, gets his own, then loses it. Ogden wanted a foul, didn't get the call. Tupuola down low. Keone Tupuola makes it 10-0 Mountain Crest as the Mustangs are blitzing the Tigers here early. Under 4 minutes to play in the first period. Here's Clark, his 3 won't go, rebounded by Hall. Hall gives it off to Nethercott. Nethercott, Tupuola, and he nearly loses it out of bounds before giving it back to Nethercott. Faitha fakes the 3 this time, drives in, double clutch shot won't go. He'll go to the free throw line. Foul on Pace. Faitha gets 2. Faitha hits the first. Faitha hits both, and the Mustangs out in front 12-0. White waits for a cutter. Berg out flash, but they didn't find him. Now the skip pass from Clark to Clark. Mountain Crest in that zone, packing things in. Here's Clark kicking back under to White. He waits for the traffic to fly by, and finally the Tigers are on the board at 12-2, under 3 minutes to play. And here's a steal in the backcourt. Clark lays it up and in. Jackson Clark poked it away, and Hunter Clark got the layup. 12-4, Mountain Crest. Nethercott sees an opening, takes it. He'll go to the line. Like he was fouled by Warner. It was Warner with his first. Third team foul. Stepping up and hitting the first free throw. Mountain Crest 3 for 3 in the early going from the free throw line. And I jinxed him. Nethercott missed it. Tupuola comes up with the board in the far corner. Back to Nethercott. Nethercott blocked by Clark. Rebounded by White. White gives it off to Hunter Clark. Thinks about a three and decides against it. This time he pulls the trigger. Rims out, and Welch with the board. Welch in a hurry into the front court. Tupuola baseline jumper way too hard. Rebounded by Clark. He's fouled by Hall, and Brady Hall is going to pick up his second team foul and his first. Tigers trailing 13-4, now make it 13-6. Off the Clark lay-in. At the other end, the Mustangs turn it over, their third of the first quarter. Mustangs with 3 turnovers, 5 for Ogden. Hunter Clark fakes the three, steps inside, a lot of contact. Clark comes up with it, and eventually Tolman comes out with it. Then he turns it over. Jackson Clark, his shot won't go, and Hunter Clark tracks down the board, and a foul down inside on Tupuola. And a little bit of nasty starting to come out down there as Tupuola and Clark get into it. Bo Robinson, number 11, into the game for the Mustangs, along with Welch, Tolman, Tupuola, and Hall. And now the official's going to come over and talk to Hunter Clark and Brady Hall. Faitha is going to replace Hall. We're going to have Hall take a seat for a minute. Although it was Tupuola and Clark that were getting into it. But Hall was having a little bit of a shoving match with Clark before the ball was inbounded. Pace finds Hunter Clark. He kicks it back to Warner as they run a weave outside. Trailing by 7 with 1 minute to play. Ogden finally gets into their offense, and it's Clark. Hunter Clark with 4 points. And Ogden back to within 5 on an 8-1 scoring run after Mountain Crest opened a 12-0 lead. Welch with a long three. He fired that one up from Logan. Welch has 2 triples, 6 points, and a 16-8 Mountain Crest lead with 40 seconds to play in the first period. Misfire by Clark. He gets it back. Misses again. And here comes Faitha and the Mustangs. Welch, hot hand. How hot? Cooling down. But Welch saves it back inbounds. He came from all the way over to the far sideline and saved that back inbounds on the near baseline. Good hustle. Faitha working against Warner. Now it's taken away. Here come the Tigers. Clark was fouled before he got into the lane. And they're going to call a foul on Tupuola. Tupuola comes off the bench and picks up 2 fouls. Dalton Andrus into the ball game now. Andrus, the 5'9" junior. And Folger will come back into the ball game as well. Tupuola with 2 fouls sits down. 8.6 seconds to play in the first period. Jackson Clark shaking, baking, kicking it back outside. Finds Nate Bingham and the 3 at the buzzer. And 16-8. At the end of the first quarter, Mountain Crest with the early lead.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to give special recognition to Ogden High School and Dr. Christy.
In Utah, nothing is greater than our liberty. And going is always greater than stopping. So when we look for an emergency room, we don't just want one we can trust. We want one we can trust to respect our time. That's why Mountain Star ERs offer board-certified emergency specialists and short wait times. Mountain Star. Together, we're greater.
16-8 was the shot at the end of the quarter. Didn't go. And the Mustangs lead the Tigers after 1. Hunter Clark with 4 points to lead the way for the Tigers. 6 points for Cordell Welch to lead the Mustangs. Mountain Crest still in the huddle. Ogden ready to go. Bingham holds, finally finds White. Now Warner in the corner. Warner into the paint. Awkward looking shot, but it doesn't matter if it goes down. And it's 16-10. Mountain Crest 12-0 lead down to 6. Now back up to 8 with another caught layup. Mountain Crest jumped out to a 12-0 lead. Since then, they've been outscored 10-6 by Ogden. As Ogden misses and Faitha comes up with the board. He's wide open. He'll fire. He'll hit. 4 3-pointers for the Mustangs. They're gunning from outside. Knocked away by Nethercott, and the ball hits the sideline and out of bounds. Stays on this end. Hall will come back into the ball game. He's going to replace Andrus. Well, Ogden had the Mountain Crest lead trimmed down to 6. Now it's back up to 11. 21-10 Mustangs. Ogden coming into this game 5-1. They've played a lot of 3A and less opponents, but they've played a 5A opponent in Weber that's a pretty good squad. As a foul called on Hall underneath. It's a pretty good Weber squad, and only lost by 3 at Weber. Brady Hall picks up his 2nd foul. At the free throw line, Carson Warner, the 6'2" senior, averages 3 points per game. He's right on his average right now. points here in this second period by Warner. Hall fakes right, goes left. Nice move. Faitha gives it to Welch. Welch underneath finds Nethercott, powers it up and in. The bucket and the bash, and he'll go to the line. Nethercott with 7 points to lead all scorers, and he'll go to the line for one. Nethercott hits the free throw, and Mountain Crest matches their largest lead of the game, 24-12. Advantage by a dozen for the Mustangs. Hunter and Jackson Clark average 36 points a game between them. But tonight so far, they've only have 6. Carson White gets in close and makes it a 10-point ball game. Mountain Crest 24-14. 6 minutes to play in the first half as Folger kicks it back out to Faitha, and he plays catch with Hall out on the perimeter. Hall kicks it back out to Nethercott. Nethercott strong to the hoop. Count it! Nethercott was 7 here in the second period, and it's a 26-14 Mustang lead. Hunter Clark gets inside, throws it up, almost goes, and he'll go to the free throw line. Catch who that foul was on. It was on Folger or Faitha. I believe it was on Folger, his first. Free throw good by Hunter Clark. He's got 5. Bingham will sit. Berghout replaces him. Hunter Clark misses the second free throw. Good position by Nethercott to corral the board, and it's a 26-15 Mustang lead. Under 5.5 to play here in the first half. Faitha handles out front. Hall working on White. Leans in from the left side. Short. Berghout clears the board. Pace kept it alive and knocked it away from a couple of Mustangs. White, little floater. Good. Carson White with 6 points for the Tigers. 26-17 Mountain Crest. Faitha with Hunter Clark trying to pick his pocket. Looks inside, finds Wells. Turn, shoot, miss. Rebound by Warner. Warner up high for that board. Brings it across the timeline, kicks it out. Nethercott tries to keep it alive, but he saves it back to Hunter Clark, who misses the 3. Faitha, shake and bake, and then playing soccer with it. Picks it back up. And Hall backs it out. Faitha looking for help. Welch provides it. Folger in low. Creedon Folger hits the first bucket of the game for himself. And now all of the starters have scored. 28-17 Mountain Crest. Midway through the second period. Warner looks in. Berghout with the bounce pass to White. White fakes, raises, misses. Folger clears the board. Welch quickly ahead to Hall. Up and under, layup. And Brady Hall has 5 points. Timeout Ogden, as it's up to a 30-17 advantage. Largest lead of the game for Mountain Crest, as they lead by 13. 3:42 to play in this ball game. There's a look at Hall in from the right side, lays it up on the left. With his flowing locks of love as he runs down the court. I remember hair. Well, next week we'll have a fun one for you. Skyview and Logan. That should be interesting. And then a break. So get into the Christmas break time. Back at it after Christmas is over. And we'll have all sorts of in-valley action. so many. Now that there's 4 schools, there's so many in-valley games. You don't even have to go out and look for games against anybody else. There's plenty of games with the valley schools taking each other on. Mountain Crest leads 30-17 with 3:42 to play here in the first half. They used a 12-0 run to take the lead. Ogden whittled it down to 6, but then Mountain Crest has built it back up to 13, and here's a turnover by Ogden. 6th of the game, only their first turnover here in this second period. Hall across the timeline to Welch. Welch to Faitha. They close out on him in a hurry. He likes to shoot the 3. So does Welch. He's got 2. He's got 3. Cordell Welch with 9 points. All of them coming outside, from outside the arc, and it's a 33-17 lead for the Mustangs. They hit 8 against Westside in their win the other night, and now a turnover by Ogden, their 7th. They have 5 triples here in the first half. Welch has 3 of them. And Nethercott comes into the ball game. Now you saw White's reaction as the ball was thrown away by the Tigers. And the Mustangs leading 33-17. Look to increase their advantage. Out front to Nethercott. Now to Faitha. Foul underneath as Faitha misses the 3. Hall hit the deck. This one started getting chippy about midway to late in that first quarter. And there's been chip going on ever since. Welch, can he hit 4? Yes! Cordell Welch with 12 points on 4 3-pointers here in the first half, and it's a 19-point advantage for the Mustangs. They're clicking on all cylinders defensively. They're suffocating the Tigers. Ogden hasn't shot well, but the Mustangs aren't letting him have easy shots. Ogden's shooting everything from distance, and when they do get inside, there's 3-4 guys in white collapsed around them. Warner works outside, gives it off to White. White's had a hot hand for the Tigers, misses this one. Bergout pushes off, and they got him. Bergout with his second foul. 6'5", the tallest player out there, and the junior has to go to the bench. And the Mustangs with a chance to push their lead up over 20. Hey, it's a good time to tell you that if you go to the Factory Pizzeria and ask for the holiday special, you're going to get a large 2-topping pizza, small nachos, and 4 sodas for only $24.99. That's the holiday special at the Factory Pizzeria there on South Main. Call them up, ask for it tonight. Welch gives it off to Nethercott. Nethercott loses it out of bounds. 5th turnover for the Mustangs. We enjoyed some pizza from the Factory Pizzeria here before the game. I particularly enjoyed the sausage and pepperoni pizza. Scientific study came out this week saying that actual fat, like in butter and cream and things like that, is actually better for you than people thought. I'm waiting for the study that says sausage and pepperoni is good for you, and then I'm going to town. There's an offensive foul on the illegal screen on Ogden. 16 fouls for each team, and the Mustangs with a 19-point lead in the ball with 85 ticks on the clock. Oh, Faitha loses it. But Clark has trouble with it, or he had a layup. As it is, the Tigers do have the ball. Warner to Clark. Now Jackson Clark tries to throw the lob to White, and it hits the rim. But it bounces right out front to Hunter Clark, who misses, and it's Jackson Clark that cleans up. 4 points for Clark. Jackson Clark. Hunter Clark has 5. Nethercott loses it. Hall's there to pick it up. 50 seconds to play in a 36-19 ball game. Mountain Crest with the lead. Rebound by Nethercott. Turn in, miss. Rebound. Pace for the Tigers. Jackson Clark dribbles across the timeline. White for 3. Got it. Carson White with 7 points in the quarter, 9 in the game. 36-22 Mountain Crest, 18 seconds. Folger trying to get the pass from Hall, and Hall didn't leave it there for him as Clark on the other end takes the lob, and he has 7, and it's back to a 12-point deficit for the Tigers. It was up to 19 for the Mustangs. And now a timeout, Mountain Crest, 30-second timeout with 9.3 seconds to play in the first half. Mountain Crest leading by 12. Here's the steal. Hall tried to leave it off for Folger. Jackson Clark had a little trouble handling the pass, then he lobs it up to Hunter Clark, and he lays it in to bring the Tigers to within 12. We mentioned a young team, only 2 seniors on this entire roster. A lot of the kids that played basketball for the Mustangs last year ended up going to Richline. And with 9.3 seconds left in the first half, the Mustangs look to get the final shot, leading by 12. Hall across the timeline, looks for Nethercott, finds him, Nethercott misses, rebound by Folger, no, he loses it, and a foul called on Folger. They're gonna call Creedon Folger for the foul, the push off, and instead of Mountain Crest getting the last shot, Ogden will get free throws at the other end. Watch, you see Folger put a little bit of a shoulder into the Tiger, into the, who was it? Hunter Clark's back. Gave him just a little bit of a shove. The official saw it. Clark steps to the line, hits the first free throw. He can pull the Tigers to within 10 with 1.2 seconds left on the clock. Clark hits them both. It's a 10-point ball game. Nethercott fires away at the buzzer, and it's well short. So the Mustangs with a double-digit lead, but the Tigers showing some fight here on the game of the week. Mountain Crest leads Ogden 36-26 at the half.
The more you learn about your insurance, the more gaps you may find. Like how you think you have coverage for this when you only have coverage for this.
That's not homework.
Talk to farmers and see what gaps could be hiding in your coverage.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Give us a call at 752-9493. You'll be glad you did.
Becoming established doesn't happen overnight. It isn't awarded by one single act. Being established comes from a lifetime of holding on to what is most important, even when it is most difficult. Being established doesn't mean doing what's always been done. It means doing what's right. Lewiston State Bank, established in 1905, established for your future.
Well, the Capriels getting set to perform here at the half. Mountain Crest leading by 10. They're trying to work out the audio for the Capriels here. Having trouble with their music. And you can't dance unless there's music. It's just this weird thing. I have heard, though, that playing too much rap will ruin sound systems, and they do that a lot at basketball games. It ruins old man's ears like mine. Back in my day, 10-point lead for the Mustangs. They led by as many as 19 in this one while they continue to work with the music. Cordell Welch with 12 points in the first half. Nick Nethercott with 10. 5 apiece for Brady Hall and David Faitha, and a bucket apiece for Creedon Folger and Keone Tupuola. The Tigers were led by Hunter Clark and Carson White. They had 9 points apiece. Jackson Clark had 4 points, as did Carson Warner. Nobody else scored. Nobody else scored there in the first half for Ogden. 18 points in the second quarter for Ogden, and 20 for the Mustangs. It's Mountain Crest led by 8 at the end of the quarter, and here we go.
Over the period of time, my hearing became worse and worse.
Over the course of the years, I developed a hearing loss, and I would not be able to hear my employees talk to me sometimes.
For Paul Danes and Cache Valley's integrity, his character, his background, his equipment, I would recommend him to anyone for a hearing aid specialist.
that's why I don't like gyms.
Well, Megan, we're not a gym. We're Planet Fitness.
No gym intimidation, no lunks, clean and spacious. Just $10 a month. We're not a gym. We're Planet Fitness.
Explore what we have to do and what Utah has to offer and see and learn about the great state that you and I live in.
The Game of the Week on the Valley Channel is brought to you by Icon Health and Fitness, changing lives with fitness innovation. Wendy's of Cache Valley. It's way better than fast food. It's Wendy's. Mountain Star Cache Valley Hospital. Together, we're greater. Lewiston State Bank, strong and vibrant for over a century. Cache Valley Electric, a tradition of excellence since 1915. New Smile Dental, experience dental care. Camp Chef, the way to cook outdoors. Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology, bring back what you've been missing. LSS Insurance, Bob Larson, personalized insurance coverage for your family and business. The Book Table, your family store for books, music, toys, art, and much more. Planet Fitness of Logan, no gym intimidation and only $10 a month. Aspen Dental, get that gorgeous smile you've always wanted. The Logo Shop, we logo stuff, all kinds of stuff. And the Valley Channel, Cache Valley's television station for over 25 years. Welcome back to Mountain Crest in Hyrum, Utah. As the Mustangs hosting Ogden tonight in the Game of the Week. I'm Eric Olson. I'm with you each and every game of the week as we got quite a few more to go through this basketball season that runs through the end of February. Hey, if you're watching us on the live stream on the interwebs, all praise to Al Gore for inventing them so many years ago. If you're watching us on the on our live stream, go to your phone, pick it up, call the Factory Pizzeria, tell them you want their holiday special. You heard about it on the Game of the Week. You get a large 2-topping pizza, small nachos, and 4 sodas for $24.99. I'm telling you, they have the thing that makes their pizza, the crust to me has always been just the delivery system for the cheese and all the other stuff that will kill you to put it in your mouth. But I'm telling you, their crust is something special there at the Factory Pizzeria. It's just different from anywhere else that you're going to get. So give them a call, ask for the holiday special, tell them you heard about it on the Game of the Week. A large 2-topping pizza, small nachos, and 4 sodas for $24.99. Yeah, Hunter Clark having a laugh with the official down there. He's got 9 points. He averages 18 points a game, so he's on track, but Jackson Clark averages just shy of 18 points a game, and he only has 4 in the first half. So we'll see if Ogden tries to get him on track. Watching him play, it looks like the Tigers like to try to slash and get to the basket. And the Mustangs are just not letting them do that. They're playing good interior defense. Hall off the glass, won't go. The rebound knocked off the iron by Folger. And the Tigers have it. Warner gets the start in the second half in place of Berghout. Here's White underneath. Gets Faitha in the air and then turns and scores. Carson White with 11. And it's an 8-point lead for the Mustangs. Welch had 4 3-pointers in the first half. Faitha never shoots from that close. He's usually looking for a line to step behind. Faitha has 7. Back out to a 10-point Mustang advantage. Clark with the rocker dribble gets inside, kicks back out to White. And Hunter Clark and Carson White play catch with it out front. Now Jackson Clark. Back to Warner, and the Tigers are patient. The Mustangs playing man defense. White working against Faitha. Warner doesn't take the long 3, gets inside and throws it away. 9 turnovers for Ogden. They had 8 in the first half. 38-28 Mountain Crest. We've played a minute and a half of this second half. The Mustangs have led by as many as 19 in this ball game. They were up 12 early. Ogden cut it to 6 as Faitha fires for 3. Misses. Folger's going to get rung up. Ogden cut it to 3 at one point. They had it down to 8 to start this second half. They were down 10, and then Ogden scored on their first possession as Folger picks up his third. And they're going to leave him in the game. There's a look. You can see contact with the bodies. He tried to climb up over the back of Jalen Pace. White into the lane. Stopping, popping, missing. Rebound by Welch. Welch looks ahead to Hall. Hall pulls up at the three-point line. Toe was on the line. It's a two-pointer. And now we've got a little bit of a scrum going on underneath. Brady Hall with 7 points as Folger falls on top of one of the Tigers. I think it was White. White extricated himself from there and then shoved Folger. No foul called. They're going to give Hall a 3. Looked to me like his toe was on the line. I'm a long way away from it, though. He didn't call a foul on anyone. They just talked to both officials. That last shot by Hall, originally they said it was a 2. It looked like his toe was on the line. And then during the stoppage in play, they changed it to a 3. Clark back out to Warner. As the Mustangs enjoy a 41-28 advantage. Clark, turnaround jumper won't go. And the Mustangs with their second foul. This second half. Here's a look. Folger just kind of trying to reach across his body. And Hunter Clark hits the free throw. Tolman will replace Folger. Hunter Clark now into double figures with 10. Make that 11. He and Carson White sharing high-scoring honors for the Tigers with 11 apiece, and that's the lead for Mountain Crest, 11 at 41-30. Under 5.5 to play here in the third. Hall running, push shot won't go, and it's rebounded by Hunter Clark. Warner ahead to White. Jackson Clark fakes the handoff, takes it in, lays it up, count it, he'll go to the line. Foul is called on Welch, his first. Take a look. Welch bumped him out front as he turned the corner. And Jackson Clark now with 6. Looking for 7. If he makes the free throw, it cuts it to an 8-point lead. He does. 41-33 with 5:10 to play in the third. Mountain Crest leading by 8. They've led by as many as 19. A lot of three-pointers in this ball game for the Mustangs, and here's an offensive foul. Turnover for Mountain Crest, their 7th of the game, first of the second half. 6 three-pointers in this ball game for Mountain Crest. They hit 8 against the West Side in their only win of the season. Clark leaves it short, rebounded by Nethercott. He has it poked away, and White comes up with it. Jackson Clark from Hunter Clark. 9 for Jackson Clark. And it's a 6-point Mustang lead. Welch in the paint, out to Nethercott. 3, got it! The threes keep falling in Hyrum. 7th triple of the game. 21 of Mountain Crest's 44 points have come from beyond the arc. And with 4:20 to play in this third period, the Mustangs push their lead back out to 9 as Ogden had trimmed it down to 6.
Mustang Athletics out so much. Peck, Hatfield, and Baxter and Moore. Pizza Plus, Randy Ivy, Allstate Insurance.
So look, another
Reed's Pharmacy.
Had time.
As platinum sponsors, Cass Valley Dermatology,
Just
Coldwell
calmly
Banker, Gold
put it up there
Realty,
just like in
and
practice.
Discount Tire and Automotive.
Ogden with 9 turnovers on the evening. Mountain Crest with 7. Check that, Mountain Crest with 8. Look at that line below here for the second half. Mountain Crest led 36-26 at the half. And the big difference that first quarter, Ogden only scored 8 points to Mountain Crest 16. They get Clark in a double, and Tupuola bumps him. That's going to be 4 team fouls on Mountain Crest. We're not even halfway through the third quarter. Ogden has yet to commit a foul, and for Tupuola, his third. Ogden's going to be shooting free throws for much of this game. If the Mustangs can't figure out how they're going to defend without fouling. And with a lead, you never want to put the other team at the line with the clock stop as Hall kicks this one. Hunter Clark was looking down inside to Jackson. Jackson Clark wanted the lane, couldn't find it, so he has to give it off to Hunter Clark. Clark finds the lane, kicks it out, 3 for White. Short, rebound. Clark fights over the back of Tolman, but Tolman controls. All across the timeline, and White tried to poke it away from behind and tripped up Hall. White with his first foul, and first team foul on the Tigers. .34-35 Mustangs, 9-point advantage. They clear out. Hall with the left hand, double clutches, and they call a foul on Jackson Clark. And Hall, really that's what he was trying to do, was draw that foul. He just kind of threw his body into Clark. And for Jackson Clark, his first foul. I'd say that was a veteran move by Hall, but I know he's 15. He may be 16. He's a sophomore. He misses the free throw. Hall has 8 points on the night. Now 9. Back out to a 10-point advantage for the Mustangs as we approach the 3-minute mark in the third period. Ogden came out of the gates to knock the lead down to 10, or to 6, excuse me. And now it's back up to 10. A jump ball call as they tied up Clark. It'll stay here at this end. Fatha, Andrus, Robinson. Replacing Welch, Nethercott, and Tupuola. Good look at Jackson Clark. He'll inbound, standing underneath his own bucket. Steps in, takes the pass, fires the 3. Air ball. Hall keeping his head up, finds Andrus. Andrus with the fake, lay it up, miss it. Rebound put back by Tolman. Dallin Tolman gets on the board, and it's a 47-35 Mustang lead. Clark spin move out to White. White in trouble. Finds Warner, it won't go. Rebound fought for, and it's Jackson Clark coming out with it. Gets Andrus off his feet, and Andrus hit him with the hip as he went past him. And Dalton Andrus, the junior, picks up the foul. 5th team foul on Mountain Crest. Jackson Clark, who had 4 points in the first half, he has 6 now here in the third quarter. Up to 10. I mentioned before the game multiple times how between the two Clark boys, Hunter and Jackson, they averaged 36 points a ball game between them. At halftime, they had 13 apiece. Now they both have 11. And they're up to 22 between them. They may get to their average after all, as they've really turned it on here in this third period. Hunter Clark guards Andrews. Andrews out to Hall. Mountain Crest with the 10-point lead, not really in any hurry. Andrews stop and go, throws it away as he threw it behind. Tolman, White leans in, offensive foul. The thing that hurt White is he stopped and then put his shoulder down in a tee. They are teeing up the bench. Technical foul on the Ogden bench. Now watch as White stops and then throws his shoulder into him and goes up with it. If he goes up in one fluid motion, they may call that a block. But where he stopped and then leaned in, it looked like he was initiating the contact. And that was the call. And then the Ogden bench exploded and the official teed him up. And Faithful will shoot free throws and the Mustangs will get the ball. Now Ogden, just like that, has 4 team fouls. Faithful gets the first. Faitha stands in and hits 2. Faitha has 9 points on the game. He's averaging 9.5. The Mustangs by 12 and the ball with 2:12 remaining in the third. Andrews will inbound right in front of us. Faitha, long 3, short. Rebound, out of bounds. Tigers basketball. 2:06 to play in the third. In a game Mountain Crest has led from wire to wire. They jumped out to a 12-0 lead before Ogden finally responded. Ogden cut it to 6 on a couple of occasions. But each time Mountain Crest has surged back out into double-digit leads. 19 has been the largest lead for the Mustangs. Lead now by 12. Clark turns, Andrews in his face, doesn't matter. Hunter Clark with 13. 10-point Mustang lead, 1:30 to go in this third quarter. Andrews finds Faitha, 3 ball, too hard. Rebound goes to Hall on the far side. Hall. Wrap around pass to Tolman. Tolman tied up. Jump ball stays here. Hall with that nice no-look wraparound pass. Tolman was a little bit low for the big guy. Couldn't handle it cleanly. Take a look here. It was not a little bit low. It was a lot low. And White stuck an arm in there and tied him up. 1:15 left in the third period. 10-point Mustang lead. Hall has it taken away. Clark swipes it right out of the air. Hunter Clark to Jackson Clark. His 3. Good! 10 points in the quarter for Jackson Clark. He's got 14 in the game, and it's a 7-point Mustang lead at 49-42. Stop play to let the Mustangs make a substitution with 1 minute to play, and now we'll keep playing. There's the 15 foul on Ogden as Bingham with the body. Bingham with his first. Both teams now with 5 team fouls. 1 point Mountain Crest. Mountain Crest, with about 4 minutes left in this period, had 5 team fouls. They haven't been called for a foul since. There's 56.9 on the clock. Hall is looking back door at Nethercott. Good defense by White. Faitha working against Bingham. His little rocker dribble, he loses it. Nearly taken away by Hunter Clark. And Faitha grabbed his arm. And it's a foul on Faitha, his second. Watch. Yep, right there. Mountain Crest now with 11 turnovers in the ball game. Ogden did the same thing at the other end. They turn it over. As Jackson Clark mishandled the dribble. Ogden had a great chance to cut it to 7 or even 6 on that possession. Excuse me, cut it to 5 or even 4 on that possession. It's a 7-point lead right now for Mountain Crest. Another caught in front of the scorer's table. In a little bit of trouble. Now they triple it. Faitha. Hey, that's in his range. Off the front of the iron and a rebound foul. If that's on Folger, that'll be his 4th. And that's who they call it on. Oh, and they're in the penalty now. Free throws the rest of the game for the Tigers. So with 28 seconds left in the third, Ogden's in the penalty. 1-1. Coming for Berghout. Misses. Rebounded by Folger. Berghout scoreless on the game. Still a 49-42 Mountain Crest lead. Clark hounding Hall. As White guards Faith. Welch finds Nethercott. Nethercott from the right side off the glass. Won't go. Rebounded by Ogden. At the buzzer. Shot from three-quarter court. Wide to the right. But the Tigers have trimmed the Mustang lead down to 7 at 49-42. You're watching the game of the week on the Valley Channel.
Hi, Cash Valley. This is Fernando over the Factory Pizzeria. We're running a special right now. We're giving a free nachos when you buy a large pizza with 3 toppings. Just mention this out and you're gonna get a free nachos every time you come. The Factory Pizzeria is located in 119 South Main, below the Gias in the basement. Come see as soon as you can. Thank you.
Back at Mountain Crest High School, Eric Olson along with you as the Mustangs holding on to a 7-point lead, 49-42. Mountain Crest is led by as many as 19 in this one. They scored 13 points in that third period. Ogden. Scored 16. Ogden with the ball to start the fourth. Clark hits a 3 from the baseline left. Jackson Clark, 10 points in the third, opens the fourth with a 3-pointer. And it's a 4-point ball game. Here's a steal. Clark out in front. Lay it up and in. 2-point ball game. Jackson Clark with 15 points in the second half. He had 4 at halftime. 49-47. Mountain Crest on top. Welch hasn't scored here in the second half, and a foul on the drive. Call that on Bingham. Hall looking to inbound, finds Faitha. Faitha fires up a 3. Way off the mark. Hall rebound putback. .11 for Hall. It's 51-49. Gave the points to the wrong team. 51-47, I should say. Now they've got it right as Ogden misses. 3-on-1 break. Hall has it torn away from him by Warner. But they call Warner for the contact. Now that's what White was trying to do earlier. that got him so upset. They called the charge on White for Ogden because he stopped. Now watch, see the shoulder put into him? White stopped and put his shoulder into the Mustang player. Hall did it as he was going to the basket in one motion. And Hall gets the call. Brady Hall hits the free throw. Hall hits them both. .13 for Hall. Back out to a 6-point lead. Ogden had cut it to 2. Here's a 3 by Clark. Hits the side of the backboard. Rebounded by Nethercott. Kicks it over to Wells. She's been quiet in the second half. He's still quiet. I don't remember him attempting a shot in that third quarter. He had 4 3-pointers in the first half. Clark fakes the 3, steps in, goes to the rack. Shot won't go. He'll go to the free throw line. And it's Hall, Brady Hall, picking up his third. And Jackson Clark, we talked about it at halftime. He'd have to really assert himself as he only had 4 points. He averages nearly 18 a game. But in this second half, he's got 16, he's got 20 for the game. Tupuola comes on, and Welch will take a seat. Clark hits them both. Jackson Clark with all 7 Tiger points here in this fourth quarter as we approach the 6-minute mark in the game. 53-49, 4-point lead for the Mustangs. Nethercott underneath, finds Folger. Nice play by the Mustangs. Folger with 4. 55-49. Hunter Clark between the legs, stop, go, raise, miss. Rebound by Hall. And there's going to be free throws at the other end. Jackson Clark reaches in and fouls him. Jackson Clark with his second. Brady Hall is 3 out of 4 from the free throw line tonight. Hall's free throw up and good on the front end of the 1-and-1. He has 5 points for the Mustangs here in this fourth quarter. Now 6. 6 of the 8 Mustang points by Brady Hall. 15 points on the night for the sophomore. Back out to an 8-point lead. Clark, 3-pointer won't go. Hall spins it ahead to Nethercott. The ball won't fall. And Bergout called for the foul. Tried to take the charge. And Nethercott gets 2. This will be the 5th and 6th free throws. Well, Bergout was there. Nethercott leaned into it. He'll go to the line. 13 on the game for Nethercott. And he misses the front end. 8 3-pointers in this ball game for Mountain Crest. Ogden's hit 1. No, check that. 2, 3. There's so many points in Clark's column, but those 3s are hiding in there. Clark's hit 2 of those 3. So Nethercott hits 1 out of 2 from the free throw line. It's back out to a 9-point advantage for Mountain Crest after Ogden had cut the lead to 2. They got to within 49-47. Since then, it's been an 11-0 run by the Mustangs. Now looking to extend that run as Tupuola rebounds the miss by Ogden. This one out of bounds. Who's it off of? Off of the Tigers. Stays at this end. Hall will inbound, standing on the O of Mountain Crest there on the baseline. Out front to Welch. Welch, shot off the glass, won't go, rebounded by Ogden. White gets Tolman up in the air and then calmly lays it in. 13 for White, averaging 8 points a ball game. He had a big second quarter. He had 7 of his 13 points in that second period. 7-point lead for the Mustangs. Hall sneaks in and lays it up. Hall with a big game. 8 points here in the fourth. 17 on the night. White, 3, too hard. Rebound. Clark skies up and gets it. Put it up, miss it. Rebounded by Tolman. Quickly to Tupuola. Tupuola across the timeline. Oh, Warner took it right away from him. They're going to call Warner for the foul. Boy, and Warner looked like he swiped that clean. He didn't like that call. But he may have bumped him a little bit with the body. Warner with his second. And Tupuola will go to the free throw line. Here's a look. Watch this. Yoink. If anything, it looked like maybe it should still be Mountain Crest ball because Warner stepped out of bounds. That was pretty good hands there by Warner as Tupuola misses. Tupuola on the line. These are his first free throws of the night. He misses the first. But he missed it badly. Now comes the mental part. Can you shake it off? I'll miss that bad and make the second. This one a little bit too hard. Nethercott, though, sneaks in for the board. Leans back, misses. Rebound fought for, and Nethercott's got it. Nethercott, cross-court pass over the head of Faitha. Coach Stratman's, I think, calling for him to pull that out and start running a little bit of clock. So Tupuola misses both free throws. It's a 9-point Mustang lead with 3:45 to play in this ball game. Hunter Clark working on Hall. Clark fakes the spin, kicks it back out to Warner. Ogden looking for a good shot. Time becoming an ally of the Mustangs as we're down to 3:20. Clark steps in, fouled, shot won't go. And the officials are going to talk about it. 2 officials blew their whistle. And it's pretty clear that this is on Mountain Crest. Oh, look at that hook right there. That's actually an offensive foul before the foul by Tupuola. Tupuola picks up the foul. That's his 4th. Clark hooked him first. The officials couldn't see that from where they were standing. We had a good look from our vantage point and in slow motion. Jackson Clark hits the free throws. 6 for 6 from the line. All in the second half. Now 7 for 7. 9 points in this 4th quarter for Jackson Clark. And a jump ball called. And it stays with Mountain Crest on the jump.
No one smells chance of it.
23 points for Jackson Clark on the evening. Faitha waits for the ball, just about loses it. Finally picks it up. Got the Tigers in a little bit of a scramble. And Mountain Crest wants a timeout. Is that whole possession? Was it a little bit, whoa. Mountain Crest leading by 7 with 3 minutes to go in this ball game. They've led by as many as 19. They started the game on a 12-0 run, and then Ogden went on a little bit of a run of their own. They cut it to within 6, and then Mountain Crest pushed it back out to a 10-point halftime lead. Ogden cut it back down to 6 in the third. Mountain Crest pushed it back out to a double-digit lead, 13-14 points. Ogden cut it and got as close as 49-47. But since then, they've been outscored 11-6. The Mustangs, behind a big fourth quarter from Brady Hall. He's got 8 points here in this fourth. The Mustangs out in front by 7. Jackson Clark with 23 on the night to lead all scores. He's got 9 here in this third quarter. Hall with 8 for the Mustangs. Nethercott with 1 for Mountain Crest, and Folger with 2. That's the only scoring for Mountain Crest. The only other Tiger to score here in the fourth quarter is Carson White. He has a bucket. He's got 13 points on the night. Hunter Clark's helping out Jackson Clark with 13 points of his own, but he averages 18 a game. He hasn't really looked for his shot here much lately. It's been Hunter Clark doing the damage. One's got facial hair and one doesn't. And one's a couple inches taller than the other. Other than that, they're hard to tell apart. Similar games, and here's a turnover from the Mustangs. Ooh, Clark thought about the 3. Instead, he goes baseline. In trouble. Spins it out to Hunter Clark. 3 ball. Good! Right on cue, as we talked about how quiet he's been. And it's a 4-point ball game. 2:46 to play in the fourth quarter. And a timeout called by Ogden. So now Hunter Clark has 16 points. Average 36 between them. They've got 39 between them here so far tonight. Hey, last chance as we take a look here at this last play. Jackson Clark out to Hunter Clark. Catch, shoot, run down to the other end. Feeling pretty good about yourself. If you're watching us on our live stream, pick up the phone, call the Factory Pizzeria, ask for their holiday special. Tell them you heard about it on the Game of the Week on the Valley Channel. A large 2-topping pizza, small nachos, and 4 sodas for only $24.99. That's the Factory Pizzeria. In South Main as you come down the hill. Below Gia's restaurant there. 4-point ball game. Ogden's been as close as 2. Now they're back to within 4 with 2:46 to play in the game. And the Mustangs, I would imagine, will try to take a little bit of air out of the ball. Faitha will inbounds to Hall. They quickly double it. Off to Nethercott. Mustangs have numbers. Welch hands it off and misses his man, but Nethercott gets free underneath. Everybody just ran by Nethercott. And he has 16 and gives the Mustangs a little bit of breathing room at 62-56. Clark, long 3. Won't go. Trying to save at his pace. And it's out of bounds off of the Tigers. 2:22 to play, and the Mustangs by 6. Looking to put this thing away. They beat the Ogden press last time, got an easy bucket. Faitha is underneath the basket. They couldn't find him. Here's Hall. Brady Hall. 10 points here in the fourth quarter. Back out to an 8-point lead for the Mustangs. Under 2 minutes to play. Warner in the lane, stopping, popping, missing, rebound, Hall, and he'll go to the free throw line. Brady Hall, the sophomore, as Warner fouls him. Warner with 3. Hall goes to the other end for 2 more free throws. Take a look right here. Warner just kind of grabs him, has to foul him. 19 points for Hall. He's looking for 20. He's not going to find it with that shot. Hall for one more. Now he has 20 points. 20 points for the sophomore, 15 in the second half, 11 here in the fourth quarter. When his team needed him the most, he's come up big as Ogden made a big push. They've been as close as 2 as Clark hits this one. He's got 5 in the quarter. Timeout Mountain Crest. Still a 7-point lead for the Mustangs, but as Ogden had cut this lead down to 4, Brady Hall in this fourth quarter has really saved the Mustang bacon. Not sure if there's such thing as Mustang bacon. Pork bacon, usually the best, the only real bacon. Hunter Clark with that last bucket. He has 9 points in this second half. He's right on his average of 18. You see him split the double. The ball goes into hole. 7-point lead for the Mustangs. Has them doing backflips here in Hyrum. We'll take 6 days off and be back with you next Tuesday for Skyview and Logan. Last game of the week before Christmas. That'll be our holiday edition. Brought to you by a jolly fat man. I don't have a beard and I will not bring you presents. But the rest of the description fits. 1:35 to play in the game. Now the Mustangs, who thought they might take the air out of the ball 30 seconds ago, since then they've had 2 more possessions. They didn't mess around. They just beat the Ogden press and went ahead and got the first shot they saw. Here's Hall, the quarterback, going deep, too deep. So Ogden will get the ball under their own basket. Hall played quarterback for the Mustangs football team. Cordell Welch broke off his pattern. 13th turnover for Mountain Crest. Jackson Hall will inbounds. Jackson Hall. Jackson Clark rebounds into Hunter Clark. Clark stops at the free throw line, backs up, has it stripped by Hall. Out of bounds. Ogden basketball. .130 to play in the ball game. A 7-point Mountain Crest lead. White took his eyes off the ball. Just about lost it out of bounds. Warner doesn't even think about the 3. White, triple team. Hunter Clark gets the rebound. Scoops it up and in with the right hand. Hunter Clark with 7 here in the quarter. And it's a 5-point lead for Mountain Crest. And another timeout by Ogden, the 32nd timeout. They're running short on him now with 1:10 to play in the ball game. There's a good look at Sean McQueen in his 5th year. We'll resurrect this program. You know, the athletic director here at Mountain Crest used to coach at Ogden, Kevin Anderson. 65-60. We take a look at the score there. 70 seconds left on the clock. Mountain Crest with the lead. Kevin Anderson, the athletic director here at Mountain Crest. He played quarterback. He was the quarterback of the team, the very first Mountain Crest football team to win a state championship way back when in 1987. He was the starting quarterback and starting point guard for the basketball team that finished 2nd in the state that year. They lost to, I believe it was Timpview in the, I want to say in the title game that year when he was a junior. He coached at Ogden. He coached out at Skyview. He coached over at Bear Lake. Now he's the athletic director back here at his alma mater. Nethercott, triple team. They're going to try to take the ball away if they can and foul if they have to. And a timeout called by Mountain Crest before the foul was called. They would have had to call a foul because Hunter Clark had him in a Not even a half Nelson. He had him in the full Nelson and the Nelson's neighbors is what he had him. .107. Mountain Crest looking for their second win of the season. Ogden trying to avoid dropping to 5-2. As they're off to a strong start. It's been a physical game. Both of these teams getting their money's worth on some of the fouls that have been called. Mustangs break the huddle. They'll go with Faitha, Tupuola, Nethercott, Hall, and Welch. Now, after watching Tupuola shooting his last set of free throws, it looks like he didn't look all that comfortable at the free throw line. If I'm Ogden, I think I'm letting him get the ball and then I'm going to foul him. Clark, White, Warner, and Berghout for the Tigers. They're going to try to take it away from Nethercott. He walked. No, they're going to call a jump, and that's a turnover. Either way, the Mustangs with their 8th turnover of the ball game, and the Tigers with the ball in a 5-point deficit under their own basket. Here's the lob out to Clark. Hunter Clark doesn't need to shoot a 3. Gets inside on Hall, and a foul called on Brady Hall. And we'll have to see what the official scorers table says. I've got Hall for 4 fouls. Stratman doesn't like that, and he's hollering at the official about that call. That's 4 for Hall. Take a look. Well, maybe got him a little bit with the body there as Clark hits the first free throw. Clark misses the second. It's a 4-point game, and Nethercott fouled. Nethercott raked in the board. As he turned to go up court, they fouled him. Coach Stratman still talking to the official. Well, coaches want their players to keep playing. And coaches keep coaching. 58 seconds left. Nethercott at the line for 2. Misses the first. .16 for Nethercott. He misses a second, so with 58 seconds left in the ball game, Ogden still alive, down 4. Clark misses. Faitha with the board, steps out of bounds, but they're going to call the foul on Berghout. Berghout went up high to try to grab that board. He came down on Faitha and shoved him out of bounds with the momentum of his body. Go to the other end, and Faitha gets a couple of free throws. Mountain Crest has missed 6 free throws here in this 4th quarter. They're 6 of 12 from the free throw line in the 4th. .49 seconds left, and Faitha gets 2. He hits the first. 10 for Faitha. Hits them both. 11 for Faitha, and it's a 6-point ball game. 45 seconds left. Clark. Now Warner with it. His shot at 3. High off the iron, rebound by Clark. Clark leans in, misses. Rebound fought for. Nethercott's got it, and Nethercott is fouled. Ogden with some good looks. And it just wouldn't drop for him. 33 seconds left. 67-61, Mountain Crest. And if Nethercott can hit these free throws, pretty much seal the deal, but we'll remind you that he's 1 out of 4 here in this fourth quarter from the line. He's missed his last 2. And he misses that one. Nethercott misses both. Rebound Ogden, who's still breathing. 30 seconds to play. Clark pulls up for a long 3. It's way short. Rebounded by Ogden. Out front, Jackson Clark tracks down the board, and Hall fouls him. Brady Hall, that might be all for the sophomore. I've got him for 5, but I'm far from official on the score. Now they're going to call another technical foul on Ogden. They're teeing up Jackson Clark. He said something to somebody, and they're teeing him up, and his teammates are trying to calm him down. And oh my goodness, you don't want to do that. You're going to the free throw line for 2 shots. Cut it back to 4, and instead you decide now that you're going to pop off. Let's see. That's that they were signaling a technical foul on 10. Clark shooting his 2 free throws. He misses the first. He's got 23 points. That's his first miss from the free throw line. Hits the second, 24. Now we come back to the other end. It's a 5-point game, and Faitha gets to shoot 2 free throws. He hit his last 2. 23 seconds to play. And he hits this one. 7 for 7 from the line for Faitha. He's got 12 points. Oh, he misses. Happens every time. So it ends up being a wash. Except for it ends up being a net loss of a point for Ogden. Mountain Crest will get the ball back, and they had that free throw. Now Ogden's going to have to foul again. They'll play aggressive defense and try to steal, but if they foul in the process, they won't care. So I had Hall unofficially for 5, but he must not have had 5 because he's still out there. And that one's going to be on Hunter Clark. And he's in no danger of fouling out. Because this game is going to go right down to the wire. You wouldn't have thought it in that second period when the Mustangs were leading by 19. Hall misses. 68-62 Mountain Crest. Hall one more. 19 seconds to play. He hits the second. He's got 12 points here in this fourth quarter. 21 for the game. Oh, underneath all alone was Pace, and somebody tipped that ball away at the last second. Saved 2 points. 69-62, 14 seconds left. Ogden trailing. Out front, Warner looking for Hunter Clark. Clark raises for 3, too hard, rebounded by Nethercott. They're going to try to take it away from Faitha, and they do. Hunter Clark with 2 seconds on the clock misses. He'll lay it up, but the buzzer won't go. And the Mountain Crest Mustangs hang on to get their second win of the season. Their first at home, 69-62 over Ogden. Brady Hall with 21 points to lead the Mustangs. We hope you enjoyed watching the game of the week here on the Valley Channel. The Game of the Week on the Valley Channel is brought to you by Icon Health and Fitness, changing lives with fitness innovation. Wendy's of Cache Valley. It's way better than fast food. It's Wendy's. Mountain Star Cache Valley Hospital. Together, we're greater. Lewiston State Bank, strong and vibrant for over a century. Cache Valley Electric, a tradition of excellence since 1915. New Smile Dental, experience dental care. Camp Chef, the way to cook outdoors. Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology, bring back what you've been missing. LSS Insurance, Bob Larson, personalized insurance coverage for your family and business. The Book Table, your family store for books, music, toys, art, and much more. Planet Fitness of Logan, no gym intimidation and only $10 a month. Aspen Dental, get that gorgeous smile you've always wanted. The Logo Shop, we logo stuff, all kinds of stuff. And the Valley Channel, Cache Valley's television station for over 25 years.
Jack, Wendy's is just a wonderful place for someone to start out a career, which I understand is what you did yourself 1 or 2 years ago.
1 or 2 years ago, back in 1985. So it's been a little over 30 years now, and it's a great opportunity. Start off as doing fries, and then they taught me their positions, and worked my way up to assistant, general manager, and then now I'm doing what I do here.
Okay, so what I do here, what is that? Because I understand that Jeff is retiring and you're kind of taking over.
That's true. Jeff has retired. He's enjoying his family and traveling about the country and doing things that he wants to do, and lets me take care of the rest of the stuff. So I manage 5 general managers and make sure that things are operating the way we're supposed to be operating.
Okay. Now, also the great thing about Wendy's, terribly involved in the local community. Let's talk for a minute about that great Heisman, the high school Heisman. It's kind of a tongue twister. High School Heisman Award. What's that mean?
That's a great program that Wendy's has nationally, and it's the Heisman Award. They pick an athletic as well as an academic all-star, and they win a prize similar to what they have in college. It's called the Heisman. This is the High School Heisman presented by Wendy's, and it's pretty prestigious, and they do it in regions, so it's not just one winner, there's more than one. And so the people locally have an opportunity for that as well.
Okay, so I understand that locally we have 4 high schools now, and the Valley Channel covers a game per week, and so the athletic director is going to pick 2 people, generally speaking a male and a female from their school to represent that.
That's correct, and it's nice they do it for the home school. So this week it'll, for instance, be Logan, and two student athletes from Logan will be picked this week. And like you said, it's not just the guys. We like to get the girls involved as well, and they get to be the Wendy's All-Star. And then the athletic director of the school picks them out, and then the Valley Channel will interview them and ask them about their volunteerism in the community and why they got chosen.
Okay, so 3 things that we're covering here. You've got the academics, you've got athletics, and also you have to be kind of a community supporter too, working out there in community service.
That's true. It's all about the community. If you can't give back to the community, then do you really deserve the prize? Probably not.
Probably not. How long has Wendy's been involved in this kind of thing?
Since really Jeff got right into it almost immediately. So I think 1986 is when we first started. It might have been 1987, but still 30 some odd years. Yeah.
Of giving back to the community.
Not just in giving good values for their menu items, but as well as sponsoring athletics and other things like that.
Now, Wendy's kind of grew from really just one word, didn't it? And the word was, from Dave Thomas himself, fresh.
That's true.
How was he different than other sort of fast food places?
Well, that's a good question. A lot of you may have noticed our hamburgers are square.
Yeah.
There are not a lot of places that have square hamburgers. And the original statement for that was, the reason for that is we don't cut corners at Wendy's. And I think that's kind of fun. We want to make sure you get a quality sandwich.
Right.
And then there's been some other people who have jumped on that bandwagon as of late, saying that they're the ones that make it fresh.
Right.
We've been customizing hamburgers since 1969, and when you order it, you get what you want on it. It's not just you're going to get pickles, onion, and ketchup on it. We'll put whatever you want on there.
However we want to build it, you'll do it.
We'll do whatever you want.
Is there anything new on the menu at the minute?
Well, I shouldn't say there's anything new on the menu as of right now, but next week, which I'm really excited about, the taco salad's coming back.
Oh, really?
And that's a fantastic salad.
Yeah,
they never should have taken it away, but it's back, and it's you can't beat that salad.
Well,
I
know you can't beat it. Although my personal favorite is the chicken pecan apple.
That's a good summer salad.
That is so good. Are you going to take that? Don't take that away from me. That's one of my favorites. So 5 here in the valley, or is it spread out through northern Utah?
We have the store here.
Yeah.
We have the store across the street from the mall.
Right.
Then we have the store in Smithfield. Then we have one in Tremont, and then we have one in Syracuse as well.
Okay.
So those are the 5.
So you're all over the place, making sure that everything's fresh and good.
Drive all over the place. I put a lot of miles on my car, so that's good.
But it's worth it because look how good everything is.
Well, we're going well for us.
Yeah. Okay, thanks ever so much for spending some time with us today. If you want something fresh and great, come on into Wendy's, the best.
Thank you.